Traveling can be tricky, especially when you're throwing yourself in another continent for the first time on your own. I've been traveling for a little over a month now, and I made a bunch of mistakes, some dumber than the others. I'm sharing my story with you, hoping that you can learn from my mistakes.
Tu donnes tout le temps de nouvelles. Ouais. Et tu peux,
To make my way to Rio, I had to take 3 flights. The first one leaving from Paris and headed to Lisbon, then from Lisbon to Porto, and finally from Porto to Rio. It was a full day of traveling, and my only company was my thoughts, and Bob, of course. At this point, I still wasn't fully aware of my situation. I wasn't really realizing what my life would look like from now on. It felt like I was going on a vacation, and to be honest, it took time to get past that frame of thought. Sometimes I visualize what I want my life to look like, and it helps me stay motivated and work slowly to reach that point. But this time, the gap was too big. I was jumping from living with my mom and my sister, food on my plate, a roof over my head, and no bills to pay, a dream in my head, but still living a relatively carefree life, to being by myself, all the way across the ocean, responsible for my own survival, and my only option being the success of this project. I've been preparing for 2 years, but I still had no idea what I was getting myself into. And it's with those thoughts in mind that I landed in Rio. My first week was spent in Rio. I had a wonderful time. I made a lot of friends before I even got the chance to try. I went on a walk the morning after I arrived, and as soon as I got back to the hostel, I was invited to the beach. I only spent a week there, but it felt like I had known them for a month. By the way, if you ever go to the same hostel I stayed in, say hi to Andre for me. I didn't really visit the city. I didn't do the most famous hikes. I didn't go visit the Christ. Actually, I could see it from my bed. But one thing I actually did is eat a lot of stuff. Every time I passed by something I had never tried before, I would fight the urge to buy it and lose at least 50% of the time. It made me realize that my biggest enemy in this adventure is food, the ultimate budget breaker. I don't mind saving on activities, but food requires a whole new level of discipline. Oh, but it's a cultural experience, I gotta try it. Or, we don't have that back home, so I want to enjoy it while I'm here. Or even, I'm hungry. Any excuse goes. I spent twice the amount I was supposed to. At that time, I was dead set on spending only about 2 weeks in each country to go through as many countries as possible. The idea of going through almost 30 countries in 2 years seemed very attractive to me. It seemed like an achievement that would make me proud. I failed to see the superficiality in that. So bad spending habits coupled with that shallow train of thought and the fact that I had created the worst environment possible to get some work done, which is a necessity for me as one of the objectives of this adventure is to make a living out of this YouTube channel, give me an amazing idea. I left. Even though I think living was the right decision, the execution was done extremely poorly. I have a general itinerary of the cities I want to go through. After Brazil, I wanted to go to Argentina, so I headed south. On my way there, I stopped in São Paulo, Curitiba and Foz do Iguaçu for 2 nights each. The reason why I was in a rush was to catch a flight in Puerto Iguaçu, the city border in Argentina. This kind of fast-paced traveling was horrible. If it wasn't for the amazing buses in South America, it would have been even worse. Jumping from bus ride to bus ride with only a day to live in between, spending a total of 24 hours on those very comfortable seats, regretting not staying longer at the previous destination, just to find out that my flight has been rescheduled for a week later. Even worse, I took a bus to Buenos Aires for the same price instead, and I couldn't get my flight refunded. First car in Brazil, how is it?
Yes, I am very nervous.
We'll see. I think it's gonna go well. How do you feel?
Very good.
Still nervous?
Yes.
Is it really different than Korea?
No, I think it's similar.
Yeah. It's just being like at the other side of the world that makes you nervous. This is where your dreams go if you don't act on them. I realized that traveling at that pace is not something you can enjoy alone. Being constantly on the road and not having time to really connect with anyone, being stripped of any sense of routine or habit that can help you bury your roots in a community, not having the time to give a chance to the place you're visiting. The only way I can enjoy that is by having someone to share it with, which is not the case. So I thought of a way to slow down and enjoy the view while saving some cash at the same time. WorldPackers is a community-centered platform that helps travelers and hosts connect. By using this service, you get to volunteer in hostels, non-profits, guest house, or even surf camps all around the world in exchange for free accommodation and sometimes a few more benefits. This seemed way too good to be true. This was literally at the crossroads of all my needs. I had just found a way to get 3 weeks of accommodation for free. In the meantime, I had 2 weeks to pick myself up and make the decisions that would help me succeed in that project.
What up, say?
Building momentum to kill procrastination.
Yeah, now I rep the O, what you know, by the west side. I just bought a whip, all in cash, live my best life. Bought a couple stocks, so I'm covered for the next 5. I don't like the top, but I will if you test my patience. I'm patiently waiting, thinking you know me, but you've been mistaken. Alone in my crib, I like it vacant. Up in the morning, I'm me in the bacon. Don't like the cap and I don't like the faking. I need a bag and it's mine for the taking. Liquor and women, I'm never chasing. She don't know me, but she know that I'm famous. Now I got time to go get it. I told him I do it. I swear that I'm running the most. I don't know what they've been talking. I told them I'm here and I'm working so hard, but they don't. I'm in the base and I'm making a way. And I told them that this is a the life that I chose. They tryna test me, I told them you really don't want it. I told them that I gotta go, but I got way too much.
Looking back, this past 2 weeks went way slower than the ones in Brazil. I like that I could take my time to properly set myself straight again. I got to learn some Spanish too, might come in handy, who knows. I'm glad I made those mistakes very early on this journey and was able to course correct into making decisions I'm much happier with. It saved me from a lot of stress and actually made me feel freer, which is the whole point of this adventure. I guess if there was a lesson to be learned from all this, it would be improvise, adapt,
Be
work
patient,
on.
darling. Working for the people, gotta rake them all in. But sometimes people make you hate your calling. Some people panic when the brakes are stalling. Me, I go to God when my faith is falling. Put it on the tattoos. A righteous man don't know bad news. Found forgiveness for my snafus. Nothing for the pretty girls trying to get a cashew. Bad dude. Sometimes life really suck like a vacuum. The devil I don't never turn my back to. I just wanna shower love like a bathroom and be a role model for the black youth.